board members. So oath of office, Town of Buffalo Gap, County of Custer, State of South Dakota. Please state your name. Christine Wells.
Can you use the microphone, please?
Yeah, it's on.
No, I heard you, Shelley. I don't hear anybody else.
All right.
We're gonna do it together.
State your name. You guys state your name.
I, Travis Lassiter,
I, Christine Wells, do solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of South Dakota, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of trustee for the Town of Buffalo Gap, Custer County, to the best of your ability. I do.
if anybody didn't get agendas, we have them.
I want to publicly state here, even though I'm not a attorney, that you two are not legitimate board members. I'm sorry.
The board will come to order.
I can speak loud. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Roll call.
Ray Hussie.
Travis Lassiter.
Christine Wells.
Shelley Harris.
Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Are there any conflicts of interest for the board members to declare at this time? Can't hear you. Are there any conflicts of interest for the board members to declare at this time?
None.
Not that I'm aware of.
New business. Election of board president. Chair entertains a motion.
I make a motion to make Christine Wells the president.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that Christine Wells will be the president of the board. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Appointment of the finance officer. The chair entertains a motion to appoint Shelley Harris as the finance officer.
So,
Appoint Shelley Harris as the finance officer.
second.
At this time, Shelley is declining the appointment of the finance officer, but has offered an interim to stay on interim until a new finance officer is appointed.
Oh, really?
Discussion with the board.
Thank you for your service, Shelley.
Well, then we need to find a finance officer. Now, let me ask you a question, Miss Christina. That you're knowledgeable in this, is there a conflict of interest if we had you as the president of the board and the finance officer?
As an appointed finance officer, yes, that would be a conflict.
Okay, well, then we have to look over. Okay, well, then we'll have to do it.
So then I would make I guess I'd make a motion that we post the opening so that we can have someone fill their position. So my motion would be that we post the job opening so that,
Anybody that wants to apply for it can apply.
that's correct. So my motion
Okay,
would be
I
post the job.
would, be
So the
in
chair,
approval for that.
so the chair entertains a motion to post the job for hire.
That's my job, that's my motion.
And I'll second.
Ray seconds.
It has been moved and second that the board will publish an announcement for the finance officer for hire. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
May I ask a question at this time? Where will it be posted?
The proper publication of that would be posted in, as we get to there, the Custer County Chronicle, which is the next agenda item, as well as our public bulletin board. So it would be standard publication for the town.
Thank you.
The next item is to set the town newspaper. The chair entertains a motion for Custer Chronicle as the town's
We
newspaper.
don't have any choice, that's the only newspaper we have in the county, so it has to be the Custer County Chronicle.
That'd be my motion.
It's been moved and second that the newspaper will be, our publication will be Custer County Chronicle.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The next agenda item is to set the town bank. The chair entertains a motion for the First Interstate Bank as the town bank.
That would be my motion.
I would second that.
It's been moved and second that the bank will be First Interstate Bank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion.
Motion carries. Thank you. The next item is to set the town attorney. The chair entertains a motion to table the item until the next meeting. It has come to the board's attention that a resolution is needed to establish assigning the town's attorney.
I didn't hear what you said.
It's time to we have to set the town's attorney as new board members. And it's come to our attention that a resolution will be needed to set the town's attorney.
Okay.
We do not have that
Thank you.
resolution in time for this agenda, so I'm seeking a motion that we hold that at the next meeting, that we table this discussion and set the town's attorney for the next meeting.
I would have to make a motion, we wait a month and, think about it or whatever.
That we would continue the item until next meeting?
Yes.
I would second that.
Are you gonna, interview attorneys in the interim?
Probably not, yeah.
No, we're just trying to follow the
It's just a
format.
technical hoorah. Yeah, my opinion, all you gotta do is talk to the lawyer and you know he's lying.
It's been moved and second that we will table the, setting of the attorney until the next scheduled board meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, I think this is the time to add items to the agenda that we need to, that are going to require action that were from the previous meeting.
Can you speak
Okay.
up, please?
We're adding items to the agenda from the previous meeting that we have to take action on in this meeting.
And those items?
There was two of them.
Yep, so I have two. 21 as the removal of the playground equipment.
Okay, removal of playground equipment
And
is
then
21.
22 is phase 2, the water resolutions.
And then we have two resolutions for the water, and that would be item 22. Those would be the two items I'd like to add to our agenda.
I motion that we add the two items to the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to set the rate of rental for the community center, also known as the auditorium, at $150 plus tax of $6.30.
Sales.
Plus sales tax, correct, thank you, Ray. And then $150 cleaning fee.
On the cleaning fee, I'm kinda, I don't know. Now, so far up to this point, since I've been, per se, the running of the community center, that we have not had any issues on cleaning the place. In fact, several of them cleaned it better than it was to begin with. So my proposal is, I will be the one that decides whether they get charged the $150 cleaning fee or not. And I will be responsible if they wreck the place, that we will make sure they clean it. I'm a little worried that you know, I mean, $300 to some people is a lot of money. And so if they come in and they use it and they clean it, I don't see that we need to get $150. Yes, that they could get their deposit back. I don't see that we really need to do that other than on a case-by-case scenario. And so that is where my opinion is on that. That be it me, Travis, Christina, or whoever, we decide whether it's a good, bad, or indifferent, per se, party, for lack of a better word. You know, of course, we don't charge anything for funerals. So that one, I'm totally, actually, I'm against it.
So Chair entertains a motion.
I make the motion that we forego that and do it on a individual basis.
I will second for discussion.
Okay, discussion by the board.
Ray, I heard what you're saying, and I agree that I expect that most individuals here who would rent the community center, but like you said, it's going to be on a case-by-case basis. If somebody does come in here and trash it, I'm not saying that anybody would, then how do we hold them accountable if we don't have it written into our policies that if they don't do that, then
Well,
they must pay?
maybe we can put it into the doodad and all that, but I'm so afraid that you're gonna outprice yourself and people are gonna say, have a nice day.
You could put it in your rental agreement. If they're paying $150 rental, you should be signing an agreement with them. And if you say, if it doesn't come back in the condition it's in when they receive it, then they're gonna pay $150.
Well, and that might not be a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, but I don't want to say, all right, Kevin, you wanna rent this hall. Now it's gonna cost you $150 to rent the hall, and $150 to clean it. So that's $300, and now do we really need to charge people $300? I mean, some people, $300 is a lot of money.
Yes, it is. I agree with you. I'm just saying, if you put in the rental agreement that they're gonna pay for, you could say $150 for cleaning fees or whatever. And just put that in the agreement. That doesn't mean they have to pay it. Just means if they don't leave it clean, then they do have to pay it.
Well, all right,
And then you can go after them. It gives you cause to go after them.
okay, that's a good idea.
What about phrasing it as a refundable damage deposit?
I didn't hear you, ma'am.
Refundable damage deposit.
Good point. That's a good one too.
That would probably be the more appropriate, what do I wanna say, the easiest way to go. They pay the $150 damage deposit up front. They leave the place in the condition it was in, they get it back, every penny of it.
I like that.
You can deduct some from it for, you know, whatever they haven't done or whatever they leave behind. But make it a refundable damage deposit. That makes it a little more palatable, a little bit easier for somebody to justify.
No, I kinda like that idea.
So I'd make a substitute motion that the community center, the rate for the community center, the rental for the auditorium, the community center at $150 plus a tax of $6.30, the 4.2% sales tax, plus $150 cleaning and
Cleaning and
damage deposit refundable upon inspection.
Okay, I think that would work.
That's a good idea.
I think that, I like the wording of it, and nobody's gonna get, I'm sorry, guys, I don't wanna screw anybody in this community. But I don't wanna be screwed either.
Yeah, you gotta cover your backside.
The chair entertains a motion.
I just made the substitute, he seconded it.
He said it. Okay, I didn't read. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to set mileage and per diem rates as set by the state of South Dakota. The chair entertains a motion that we establish mileage and per diem rates as set forth by the state of South Dakota.
I make a motion we do whatever the state does.
I will second that one.
Per diem, mileage, whatever, I mean.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to authorize attendance to job-specific training. There's 3 opportunities for job-specific training, and one of them is budget training. It'll be in Rapid City for all board members plus the finance officer. We'll leave that up to Shelley if she is interested in attending that. And then there's human resource training in peer, and an election board training for newly elected board members, also in peer. And so the chair entertains a motion for the job-specific training.
Madam Chair, I would propose, my motion would be for approving budget training in Rapid City on June 18th, 2025 for Ray, Christine, Travis, and our finance officer at the cost estimate of $323.
I don't have a problem with that, I think, second, if you made a motion on that,
I did.
I'll second that. And what day is that on?
June 18th.
Okay, I think I'm good.
I'll get with your calendar keeper, Candy.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I'd also make a motion for approval of human resource training in peer, June 10th through 11th, 2025, for our finance officer, cost estimate $545.30, and Christine, cost estimate $389.20.
Well, and that one there, we don't know what we're gonna have for a finance
Right.
finance officer, so I think that one needs to be taken. Until we figure out what we're gonna
You mean for the finance officer?
Okay, then I'd amend my motion to remove the finance officer, still allow for Christine.
All right, that'd be fine.
So Ray, your second motion?
That's not a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And then I would make a motion for approval to election board training for Christine and Pierre, 16 and 17 of July, 2025. Cost estimate is $414.20.
I would, make a motion to approve that one.
That was my motion. You said.
Oh, okay, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The next item is we have a resolution for pay rates, and to address the increase in the water operator. Carrie, what is your official job title?
That'll be it.
Water operator? Okay.
Yes.
I need a motion, or the chair entertains a motion to raise the salary of the water operator from $16.50 per hour to $18.50 per hour.
So moved.
All right, I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. And with regards to that, I have to cite resolution 2025-2. It's the publication of payroll information. Whereas the Board of Trustees for the Town of Buffalo Gap, County of Custer, South Dakota resolves to provide a listing of classification and salaries of municipal officers and employees for the Town of Buffalo Gap in accordance with SDCL 6-1-10 and SDCL 9-14-28 for the period commencing May 5, 2025. And whereas all employees shall be paid not later than 5 business days after approval from the Board of Trustees. And whereas all salaries and compensation of the Town of Buffalo Gap shall be as follows. Board of Trustees, Ray Hussey, Christine Wells, and Travis Lassiter. $60 each regular meeting, $50 each special meeting. Finance Officer, Shelley Harris, interim, $1,190 per month. Data entry, Christine Wells, $100 per month. Road maintenance, Steve White and Terry Kaiser, $15 per hour, $22.50 per overtime hour. Water maintenance, Terry Kaiser, $16.50 per hour, $24.75 per overtime hour. Believe I'm missing someone from here, Zach. Is that correct? So that would also include Zach under water maintenance. My apologies, Zach. His rate is $16.50 per hour and $24.75 per overtime hour. Water maintenance certified operator, Carrie Zolik, $18.50 per hour, $27.75 per overtime hour. Grounds mowing maintenance, Steve White and Tammy White, $16 per hour, $24 per overtime hour. Animal control, Margaret Lamont, $16 per hour, $24 per overtime hour. Equipment rates, board approval will be required for equipment rates. Now therefore be it resolved for these wages, salaries, and specific services of municipal officers and employees are hereby approved this 5th day of May 2025. Buffalo Gap Town Board President Christine Wells.
I move to approve and post resolution 2025-1, publication of payroll information.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Hell, I might have given you a job.
Yeah. Set the posting date, time, and location of agenda and meeting minutes. Agenda posted no later than Thursday at 6 p.m. prior to the board meeting. Meeting minutes posted and published in the newspaper within 5 business days of board meeting. The chair entertains a motion.
My motion would be that we post all meetings Thursday, no later than Thursday at 6 p.m. prior to the board meeting, and all meeting minutes posted and published in the newspaper within 5 business days of the board meeting.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 15. The chair entertains a motion to set the maximum work hours for water and sanitation and road and street departments, including mowing, for the month of May and June. And these hours do not apply to emergency services.
Can I clarify? Oh, I didn't know if you were playing something.
No.
No, this is for each department or individual that's working.
No, it's per department.
Okay, so 40 hours for water and sanitation, 40 hours for road and street department?
So
Well,
we have
on
a
what?
discussion on-
And I think on that, Terry, or Travis, I think we need to, be a little flexible on that. I think we have, over the course of whatever years, that we have, got a little lax on it. You know, people could help us a little bit by mowing clear out of the street rather than mowing out their property line and then letting the city mow their, the right of way. Like, people could help out a little bit and save us a little money, whatever, by mowing clear out of the street rather than, pardon my French, being just flat ass lazy. And help us out a little bit so we can save a little bit of money. And like, I think I talked to Christina the other day and all that. Yes, in the last year, we have had to fork out a lot of money for IRS, and internal revenue, and anybody else in this world that wanted some money and all that. So I think if we get some people to help us and they mow out to the street and save us a little money, would it
Ray,
be?
you know that's not gonna happen.
There's a lot of people that are not gonna mow their lawn.
So the
And I
motion,
think, Christine, before you go on,
the motion on the table is to set the maximum hours. There's no maximum hours set at this time. So the motion on the table is to set the maximum hours. And then we can, following the motion, we can have a discussion of what that looks like with the board. So the motion on the table is to,
No more than 40 hours a week.
that's, so
Is
let's.
that what you're saying, Christina?
No, what I'm asking for is a motion to discuss this item. And in that discussion, we can discuss why this is necessary.
Well, we can discuss that now without a motion, because it's on the item as the agenda. I just want a clarification for what we're looking at, and that's kind of what you're talking about. That's where we can discuss that piece of it for what are we looking at. That's why I asked the question. The way it was worded on here, I just wanted to understand, was it two separate departments that each get 40 hours? Is it one person per each department, 40 hours? What is the,
So the discussion, I have a record, and based on what's going on with the finances right now, we're potentially over budget our 2025 budget appropriation. We've had very unexpected expenses completely outside of the town's control. So based on that, in order for us to stay within our 2025 budget, we need to look at May and June to determine the amount of hours that we are willing to pay for to keep us under budget for the year. Now, it's intended that in the June meeting, we will have a better idea of what the rest of the budget's gonna look like for the rest of the year, because we'll have 5 months of expenses versus 4. So we can look at it holistically and make a better decision then. But right now, it carries that we could be over budget. So,
but I just want to understand, the 40 hours is per all the departments, max for, not per person, not per department, but for the amount that the town is willing to pay outside of emergencies.
so
Yeah.
I'm proposing right now, because in the water department, in the water fund, we're right in the line of overspending again this year. We overspent last year, we're right in the line of overspend again this year. I'm proposing in the water and sanitation department, just as of right now, we implement a 40-hour rule, and then for the grounds and mowing, I'm proposing that we implement a 20-hour rule, and that grounds includes streets. So for roads, streets, and mowing is to just impose that, just feel a little bit of restriction right now until we can understand where our budget's at.
I would go along with that.
Are you talking about 40 hours a week or 40 hours a month?
For the month. And any emergencies would need to come, either contact the board president, and we can work with Shelley to see if that's okay for her, but contact one of the board members or the board president. Once we reach the 40 hours, if there's any emergencies over that for the water department, then to, let someone know, because
Who am I gonna let know?
it would be me.
And then what is gonna happen then?
Well, depending on the situation, we're gonna have to take care of emergencies.
Right.
So depending on the situation, if it's emergency, we've gotta take care of it, but if it's, if it's administrative stuff, we'll need to just really look at it, and I'm just asking to do this just for May and June until we can see how we're gonna spend our budget, because if we overspend, what has to happen is we have
You
to go
can't borrow yourself rich.
we have to go to surplus and write a new ordinance to take those funds out of surplus to supplement our budget for this year.
So I just want to clarify. It's a max hour for water and sanitation at 40 hours for the month. Road, street department, including mowing, 20 hours for the month. And then contacting the board president for if there's an emergency, if they're outside of their 40 hours per 20 hours.
That's correct.
Okay. I'm in line with that. There we go.
So Chair entertains a motion.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Well, I got another question now. So I average about 45 hours a month with everything that I do, usually. What don't you want me to do?
Can you lay out what you are doing, so, because then we can decide as a board, right?
It's on my time sheet. The, whatever that I sent, showed, every day, what I
Okay,
do is on that paper.
so we can go.
No, I was just gonna ask a question. Are they all pretty similar? I mean, every time sheet, can we get one that's written out like this, we can kind of have an idea of what you've done
Pretty
over the
much,
last
yeah.
3 months?
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Okay.
So just in Carrie's defense, she emails her time card and then she turns in the original.
Yeah, so
Well,
I would ask
and
you
there
to,
again, down the road, if we need to adjust that, but we can do that. If that's not enough, I don't have a problem with adjusting it, whatever.
Sure, except for that coming up now, we were talking about, what is this, May? Maybe sometime this month or in June, flushing the water hydrants, so that's
Well,
gonna be.
that would be extra, and then you would be more,
But no, so that's gonna stick me working like 16 hours out of that 40 all month. Then what do I do? What parts don't I do?
so can you bring to us what you actually do, what you're doing? So when it says on here, it just says meters. So we're gonna bring the meeting back in order, but if you could bring to the board what that means, so that we can make a decision, a better decision than what we put forward right now, then that would be very helpful.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's bring the meeting back to order. For 16, the chair entertains a motion to table this item, the employee reporting policy, following the hiring of a new finance officer.
So moved. Second.
like,
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The chair entertains a motion to table 17, which is to establish human resource policies, time card policies, job descriptions, no later than August 4th,
That would be my,
following the finance, hiring of a new finance officer.
that would be my motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The chair entertains a motion to make a proposal to update and organize all town ordinances.
Well, I would make most of the organize and update all of them, yeah, good idea.
I would second. For discussion.
For discussion.
And basically, when we do this, as we flesh this out, we'll have public meetings so people can give input at times. If I remember what I was thinking about on this, because some of the ordinances may be old ordinances that we don't even need anymore. Some of them just may need to be updated. So
Yes,
it'll be things that we can at least have conversations with,
yes.
not necessarily special meetings, but an opportunity
And
to visit.
to discuss.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And then along with the next item, the chair entertains a motion to table this item as well, given that in number 15, we've set, limits on the water departments in the streets. So we will table this for the, discussion in the next meeting.
That would be my motion to table.
I'll second.
Discussion?
What did they just say? Oh, well, I got another question on that. So since you guys can't all get together, if it's not in the meeting, when do we talk about this?
When do we talk about,
The stuff you wanna know about my time card. So since you can't, you can't get together any other time besides a meeting, when do you wanna talk about it?
actually, we can hold an executive session to discuss those duties that you're performing. So we can, so I'll announce that there'll be an executive session at a date to be determined once we meet the publication requirements to discuss, the duties that you're performing so that we can better understand and make a better decision.
Sure, sure.
And if you don't mind, Madam Chair, there's also, if we say that we're gonna be in the community center on Friday at 3 o'clock, all of us to have that conversation with you here, maybe not the executive session part, we're notifying the public that we're gonna be together as a quorum, but it's a non-actionable meeting. It happens all the time with government and entities, where you may have 3 or 4 that are meeting with a department because they're giving a tour of the jail or whatever. As long as the public is aware and the public is able to be a part of it, it's good to go. But we would do something where we're here in the community center or in the bank so the public can come and have part of that conversation so it doesn't violate any of the codified law.
Oh, perfect.
Number 20, the chair entertains a motion to table this item as well. Given 15, we have established work hours, or restricted work hours.
So moved. To table?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 21. Chair makes a motion to remove the playground equipment, i.e. the rocket ship, from the park so that the park can move on with park improvements.
And I would second that motion.
I'm gonna go along with it, but I have an issue.
So second with discussion?
I second it.
No, and my big hoorah, and all that, and if you wanna take all that playground equipment down and all that, tear it down and haul it off scrap, and I don't really care. Cause we don't have 3 kids in this town anyway. And that's all fine.
I would say that at a minimum, we have to get rid of it because it's a safety hazard for our insurance.
Insurance purposes is where the
So-
risk is coming from.
It's a higher risk.
That's fine. I got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And number 22.
Water resolutions. I will read each resolution, if the chair would like for me to do that, and then we can take action on each one. Do we want to put that as on January 26th? And we have, we're going to call these resolutions 2022.
We have two already, so we need three.
3 and 4. You want me to write on the 3? Actually, it's going to be 2025-3. So I'll read into the record resolution number 2025-3. Resolution amending the town's rate structure, providing for a surcharge for improvements to the water system for payment of a revenue borrower bond and yearly revenue of rate. Be it resolved by the town board of trustees of the town of Buffalo Gap as follows. 1. Surcharge for borrower bond. There shall be a charge, a monthly surcharge for the services provided by the improvement financed by the DW-02 Conservancy District loan. The surcharge for each loan shall be segregated from other revenues of the town and shall be used for the payment of the borrower bond DW-02, the borrower bond, provided that such surcharge shall create net income remaining from time to time after first paying all reasonable and current expenses of maintenance, repairs, replacements, and operation sufficient to fund interest, reserve, and debt service fund annual requirements. 2. Rates and collection. The town does hereby establish a special charge and surcharge payable by each customer of its system who receives or benefits from the services of the project financed with the borrower bond. Such charge or surcharge shall be set at a level which, assuming a 10% delinquency rate, will produce income at the times and in amounts sufficient to pay when due the principal of and interest of the borrower bond and the administrative expenses surcharge and all other payments as may be required under the loan agreement and borrower bond. 3. Borrower bond surcharge. The following drinking water debt service surcharge shall be applicable to all customers served. Borrower bond DW-02 surcharge $17 per user per month commencing 1 January 2026. This surcharge shall remain in effect until such a time as the revenue bond is paid in full. The initial surcharge shall be collected at the same time as other charges of the system. The surcharge is found to be equitable for the services provided by the improvements. Number 4, segregation. The debt service surcharge shall be segregated from other income of the system in a separate bookkeeping account and is pledged to the South Dakota Conservancy District for the payment of the loan payments on the borrower bond. 5, yearly review. The amount of the surcharge shall be reviewed from year to year and may be modified in order to provide such funds as are set forth with herein. The charges shall be reviewed yearly by town and administratively adjusted upwards or downwards to such amounts as may be necessary to pay principal, interest, administrative charges, and other charges as may become due and owing under the loan agreement or borrower bond. 6, billing and accounting. The surcharges shall be included in the monthly user bill. Nothing contained herein requires a surcharge to be indicated on the billing. However, the surcharge segregation shall be indicated on the books of the town. Number 7, automatic repeal. The surcharge for the borrower bond shall be automatically repealed when the borrower bond is paid in full. And item 8, partial validity. If any one or more of the provisions of the shall be held invalid, illegal, or unenforceable in any respect by final decree or any court of lawful jurisdiction, such invalidity, illegality, or unenforceability shall not affect any other provision thereof. I would motion to have the resolution accepted.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
This next one is a very long read. Is there a shortcut for reading this in there?
Thank you.
Okay.
So you can read the title, which is also pretty long, but you can read the title, and then by requirement, both of those have to be published in their entirety in your Custer Chronicle. So you can handle it that way. A lot of times when people read it into the minutes by title and then publish it in its entirety.
Yeah, for this one, absolutely. This is like 10 pages. I don't know where you read for 10
That's
pages.
your issue.
I don't want to listen to you for 10 pages.
All right. So resolution number 2025-4, resolution giving approval to certain drinking water facilities improvements, giving approval to the issuance and sale of a revenue bond to finance directly or indirectly the improvements to the facilities, approving the form of the loan agreement and the revenue bond and pledging project revenues and collateral to secure the payment of the revenue bond, and creating special funds and accounts for the administration of funds for the operation of the system and the retirement of the revenue bond, and providing for a segregated special charge or surcharge for the payment of the bonds. My motion would be to accept that resolution and adopt it at Buffalo Gap, South Dakota on today's date of 2025.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.